And welcome to Thursday night Bible study. And we give all the glory and praise to Ahia, Yeshaya, and the Holy Spirit. We're going to continue with the book of Daniel. We're going to go over Daniel 6 and Daniel 12. So we'll have our credo. Shema Yasharala Ahia.
Alahaya Nawa Ahaya Akkad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one power. Shema Yasharala Ahaya. Alahaya Nawa Ahaya Akkad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one power. Shema Yasharala Ahaya. Alahaya Nawa Ahaya Akkad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one power.
Daniel 6 and 3. So we're going to see about the lion's den. And then we're going to go over to Daniel, the 12th chapter. So we're going to open up with Daniel 6 and 3. And let's see what this is about. Daniel 6 and 3. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and princes, because an excellent spirit was in him, and the king thought to set him over the whole realm. So Daniel was finding favor with King Darius. And King Darius was going to make him he was going to make him a leader over the kingdoms. The kingdoms that they're talking about, of course, were Persia. And this caused jealousy. Daniel was, the spirit of the Most High was in Daniel. And all of the king's problems would be answered by Daniel, because Daniel would go and get the answer from Yeshaya. So the king wanted to set him over all the rest. Now, at this point, Daniel was about 80 years old, and he enjoyed a life of blessings. That's the life that he had. So Daniel was the favorite. He had experience, wisdom, history. He had leadership. He had ability, and he had attitude. And all of it was from Yeshaya. From the record from Ezra, the return of Judah would be imminent. To get such favor from the king, the other leaders thought that it would be wrong to have Daniel in this place. So they started to formulate something against him. Verse 4 says, Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find none occasion nor fault. For as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. So they were jealous, and they tried to find something about Daniel that they can report to the king and tell the king, this is what Daniel's doing, to get him removed or to get him not to have any type of blessings. So they plotted against Daniel. Verse 5 says, and said these men, we shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his God. So everyone knew that Daniel was loyal to Yeshaya more than anybody else. So they decided to trap him by finding some type of fault about his worship of Yeshua. So they had to find some type of fault because they couldn't find any fault in how he operated. They couldn't find any fault on how he went about his daily business. So they said, okay, he loves that God that he serves. So we need to conjure up a plan that would, we need to conjure up some type of law that would have him to continue to serve his God, but also break this law. Verse 6 says, then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king and said thus unto him, King Darius, live forever. Now, of course, they're going to start with flattery. They really didn't care whether he lived forever or not because they needed him to help them in their cause. So they could care less whether he lived or not. Verse 7 says, all the presidents in the kingdom, the governors and the princes, the counselors and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. Now, the king was very happy of the accomplishments that he did. And he thought nothing about his subjects coming to counsel him first. So he was dealing with a little machismo himself.
So they couldn't pray to their gods or any other gods for 30 days. They had to come to.
So we're going to see what the law says, what the law that they're trying to build up.
Okay.
Now, Darius loved Daniel. And Darius did not know that the presidents and the governors and the princes were actually making up this law to conspire against Daniel. Darius didn't know that. He thought that these well-established men are coming to me with a royal statute and giving me praise. I'm going to listen. See, Darius' pride and his ego helped this injunction out. Ancient kings were worshipped as gods, and pagans were inferior to these gods. And this is the mindset of Darius. The presidents knew that this was the only way that they would be able to trap Daniel. And these evil men even set the punishment. They not only put the statute, but they put the punishment for those who would break the statute. Now, if a typical man is thrown into a den of hungry lions, that man is going to be eaten, attacked. And that's what they thought. They thought, you know what, we'll create this decree or this statute, and we'll do one better. We even put the punishment there. Verse 8, now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing, that it be not changed, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which altereth not. So, They understood and knew. Of course, they were Persians and they were Medes. So they understood once a law was written, there's no change to it. In Persia, in Medo-Persia, anytime that there was a law that was established by the king, that law could not be altered. That law could not be broken. That whatever came from that law, whomever broke that law, then whatever the punishment for that law were to happen, it was going to happen. Advice from worldly people can be very dangerous. Take advice from worldly people, it could be dangerous. The king needs to be, needs to be a little more careful on who his counselors were, but he didn't care about that. He liked the flattery. They reminded him, King, once you make this decree, you can't turn back on it. This law is to be carried out. Verse 9 says, Wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. They were their persuasion was so great that he didn't even bother to look at it. He didn't even bother to look at it. He just signed it. They told him what the law